Now, I have heard that before, to be fair, and I've also spoken to a number of other folks about this foreclosure, this black market of potential inventory that the banks basically have on their books that could potentially flood the market.
Right.
And we have been hearing that for quarter after quarter. But what we are also hearing is that inventory is dwindling.
But inventories are dwindling simply because this inventory, shadow inventory, is not making its way to the market. If you really look at what's going on underneath the hood, so to speak, you've seen this same pattern of recovery during the selling seasons of each year, 2009, 2010, and 2011. It's happening again in 2012. Every single year, the real estate industry comes out and says, it's different this year, and it hasn't been. And so the real question is what's going to happen going forward.
But Bonnie, I mean, I know you're shaking your head, so I'm going to let you respond to this. But clearly, this shadow inventory is something that everyone has on their mind, regardless of how you feel about it.
Yes, we do. However, I would also say that the trend is showing that year over year, and it might not seem like much, but last year, 25% were what we considered to be distressed mortgages, distressed home sales. 24% this year. So it has dropped 1%, and we are seeing this continue. Yes, people are saying that it's going to flood the market, but you know, all real estate sales are local. Real estate is a local business. We can talk about national numbers, but you have to look at what's happening in different localities. And across the country, the inventory has dropped so dramatically, and it's not just at the lower rate. It's not just what's happening with the distressed sales. It's happening all over. And
isn't there a natural solution to this? Because as the prices have dropped over the past few years, new home builders have built less homes. Therefore, there is less new inventory in the market. So doesn't the market have a natural way of healing itself?
The problem is, of course, household formation has dropped enormously, right? We're continuing to see reasonable population growth, even though that's curtailing a little bit. But household formation in this country, you have to imagine, plummeted from 1.2 million households during the bulk of the 2000s.
But America is still growing.
America is still growing, but if you've seen some of the recent birth rate statistic, it's a little bit shocking. We're actually falling below organic
I'm
growth.
concerned this might lead us to another conversation here.
Sure,
but he does bring up a good point. The demographics in the U.S., basically, the baby boomers getting older, and they don't want to own 2 or 3 homes, perhaps. They're simplifying their life. And ultimately, the young folks in this country, they may not have the credit nor the money for the down payment to afford a new home. Would that be reasonable to think that?
I would say that the credit, we've gone 180 degrees. I would say that the credit needs to be not eased, but sort of looked at a little bit differently in order to expand the ability of people to purchase homes. But I would say more than any of this, the reason there's a low inventory, certainly I can extrapolate from what's going on here locally, is that when you talk about the baby boomers, they want to downsize. And what has happened is what we talk about is a walkability index. People want to downsize from their large homes, and they want to move somewhere where they can walk to work or walk to shops, walk to restaurants, and not deal with the traffic situation.
I want to get one more question here, and it's about the greater economy as a whole. Congress is talking about perhaps eliminating the mortgage deduction for mortgages, which really affects all of us, including folks in this newsroom that may have mortgages. How big of an issue is that overhanging this market?
I think Bonnie and I would probably agree that would be a complete disaster.
It would be a total disaster. It would just be sort of the nail in the coffin. What we now can talk about, I mean, we may have our differences, but I would say that the market certainly is improving. I would say that if something like that happened, it would be precipitous to being disaster.
I'm happy that you guys agree on something. Thank you very much for your insights on this very important topic. It's what led us into this recession, and hopefully it's what will lead us out of the recession.
Absolutely.
Thank you again.